Good afternoon and welcome to the second of our new music scholars masterclasses today. And we've got a wonderful lineup of instrumentalists ahead of us this afternoon, with some other members of staff joining to give us some words of wisdom as well. And we start with a first, I think, at one of these masterclasses, which is Walter, who's going to play the bagpipes. And I hope Mr. Jasper's going to tell us a little about the bagpipes as well. So let's give Walter a big round of applause.
Right, so that's the bagpipes. Has it been the loudest thing you've had so far? Probably. Doesn't seem to me. Probably. They're obviously. Somebody wanted a bit of explanation. I mean, I've got some stuff to tell Walter, but so you've got a reservoir bag for the air, and that keeps the sound going. Obviously, you blow, and as you take a breath, you just squeeze to try and keep that constant sound you all love. And obviously, this is thousands of years old of thousands of years of development, supposedly played by one of the out in the Far East, one of the kings of the 3,000 years ago. He was trying to play something like this. It says in the texts that he played something that was powered under his armpit, and we're thinking it's a pipe. So it's a very old instrument, and obviously the Scots and Irish have taken it on as their weapon of war, as it was classed as a weapon of war throughout these battles that went on from mid-1800s, because of its, I guess, aggressive. I mean, everybody tells me it's loud, it's piercing, and that's why I reckon they've used it. So just to be a bit more in your face than these other instruments. You're not going to scare many people, but you're going to lull them with these other instruments. But this one's going to really pack a punch. Musically, we've only got 9 notes, and we've all tried to invent music that's going to impress, but with just these 9 notes. and we're stuck. I mean, Walter's been playing about a year. Is that right? He's only been playing about a year. Now that one of those. The first tune was a 5/4 for the jazzers amongst us. Probably the only 5/4 that the pipe band world plays. 5 beats to the bar, and we just wanted. And I think we only had it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Another thing with bagpipes is that we have to learn it off by heart. We don't have to, but we do because we've got to march troops around, and we can't take the music stand with us. So we do have to learn it, which Walter is very good at. And the second tune, I don't think you've had that long. It's called Itchy Fingers. It's a reel, and it's got that deep dup, deep dup. Again, we're trying to get those 9 notes to make it sound nice. It does sound nice with a guitar and a bass and some drums as well. There's some rock bands out there playing pipes. Walter, there's a few things he's playing because he hasn't been playing these tunes long. Where there's some false fingering coming in, he knows that. I've been through it with him. We practice on a piece which is just that bit and that bit, and it's got a little plastic reading, so we don't annoy our siblings, parents, other people in your house, and we perhaps they do some electronic ones where you can practice without any sound. We are judged on our technical ability, probably. We've got these notes, these 9 notes, and then in between we've got a few embellishments. We've got a lot of embellishments. That is where we're judged. If you're not in the pipe band world, you probably don't appreciate them or see where they are. But we do lots of trills and slapping of the chanter, which makes the makes the bagpipe world music, and that's where we need to show our best, is when we're trying to bring out these trills and grace notes. I know you do grace notes in your other instruments, but so Walter just needs to do a bit. We need some more work on some of it. Because there was a famous contest on. It's been running since mid-1800s. It was on in London yesterday. The Piping Society of London run this called the Gorn, which I think in Gaelic is the blue banner. Any Gaelic speakers in? And they play for the blue banner, the Gorn, and you are judged on you're judged on your music, but obviously getting all the work in. You've got to come with a nicely tuned. We have to tune these. These are tuned to the low note on this chanter. This is the chanter. Low stick drones, and they give that chord. Is that a cue for me? No. Is that a cue for me today? No. And so there it is. That's the bagpipe. Walter, for his first year in, is doing fantastically. Like I say, we've got some work to do on some of the finger technique. Blowing an even tempo, an even tone and pitch is also massive. There's just a little bit of that coming in a little bit. Walter, by the way, he's diabetic. Yeah. And his thing, just as he was about to walk on, is a little high. So I don't know which way you've got to be. His levels were a little bit high, but it's probably this game. But so he has to watch that as well. I don't know if the pipes are good for that. But there we have it, and he played well. So that was Cullen Bay, west coast of Scotland, I think, and Itchy Fingers, a really well-known reel in the piping world is Itchy Fingers. Everybody wants to play it. It's got this deep dup, 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 which you don't get a lot in tunes. Most of the tunes are named after somewhere or someone, some piper leaving somewhere, or a loch, and so that's the Great Highland Bagpipe, or Scottish bagpipes. There's tons of variations. Like I say, it came from the Middle East, across the world, and ended up didn't get much further than Ireland and Scotland until we took it to the colonies, but some have drones that hang down the way. You look at in France and Eastern Europe, and they've got, it's a sweeter sound. The Irish have them with the bellows underneath, the Violin pipes. So there's lots of them. So look out for them. We've got a pipe band here now, and we don't take questions from the floor, not at this stage. Unless anybody want to know anything quickly, I've forgotten to say anything. Any questions? No. No? Well, thank you very much. Well done, welcome. Good work.
So, Emily, do you want to tell us what it is you are doing?
Tempo di ballo by Bach.
Well done, Evelina. How long have you been playing for?
3 years.
Very good, very good. I just wanted to start actually by, I noticed you use the bow German style. Now a lot of people here won't have seen that. Bass players have two ways of holding the bow. One is as we hold this, is the violin or the cello. The other is this underhand method. Why do you choose the underhand method? Explain it.
When I started, it was too heavy for me to hold.
Right?
So it's a bit more secure like that.
I think that's true. And what's the If you were in Germany, as I was for many years, and so I got used to people using that, what is, and that's really what I want to say to you, what is the advantage of the German hold compared to this?
You can put more weight on it.
Why? And I want all the violinists and cellists to watch this as well, because it's important. I'm going to use this as an example. Well, if we hold the bow like this, particularly on a huge bass, your bass will gradually expand as you get older. You end up with very thick strings, not almost as thick as some piano strings. And if we hold the bow like this, yes, we have more versatility in a way to cross strings and do technical things. But you're always doing that with your hand, so you're pushing. I spend a lot of time with my students trying to say that the most important thing we have to learn to do is transfer the weight of our arm into the string. When you've got a huge, great, thick string like she's got, the advantage of this is that you're pulling, and the weight of your arm cannot not go into the string. Does that make sense? It goes straight through your thumb, doesn't it? You kind of hang on to the string. I think you can do a bit more of that. How loud can you play? Try it. You're playing very beautifully. Very, very good intonation, by the way. Yeah, now pull the bow even a bit faster. See what happens. How? And even more. I bet you I can produce more than you. Excellent. Can you just start your piece again and try to think all the time that you've got the weight of your arm really pulling into the string. It may be crude, I don't care. So just see how much you can pull out. It's very useful for us to watch, by the way, to see how this works like that. Really good. Good, even more. A bit more. That's better. I always say to people, don't be afraid to make horrible noises. I say it to everybody. I find so many people who think that they can learn the instrument by sort of ticketing it and gradually it'll get better. If they think, I'm going to make this thing sound as crude as I can and see what it will give me, we can then take a little bit out. And I think when you've got a double bass with these huge, great, thick strings, I sometimes, I'm going to need my older students here, I sometimes send students down to the double bass room. And I tell them, having played a violin which is so light and easy to play, I tell them to go down and play a double bass for half an hour. And then they come back and they suddenly make much more sound. And you can do the same. Don't be afraid to make horrible sounds. It always amazes me on another thing with a double bass. You're not, but when we've got a little thing like this, we move just that little bit, we can do everything. Look at the accuracy that these guys have got to have over a whole, because where I have to move half a centimetre, she has to move about 4 inches and still get it in tune, and you do that really well. Have you worked on vibrato yet?
Not much.
You're beginning to. That's your next stage. Very well done. Good. Somebody else first.
Does we have somebody else instead?
Yes. Who's going next? Thatcher, come on then.
Understand that.
Oh, that's okay. Just as a general rule, I know you like to see the pianist, but you're also playing to an audience. Once you're like that, you're putting a barrier in front of the audience. We would like to see the violin, not a music set.
Can we do a bit more tuning?
done. Can I make one little comment before we do anything else? You just played to a very high level. What did you do? You turned around. No, you didn't. You turned around and did something like that. Smile and bow. Come on, smile and bow. Applaud again, everybody. Tell me a bit about Bach.
He has it's very like orderly. It's never like rubato, stuff like that.
It's never legato.
No rubato
Rubato.
usually, and then
Right.
it has like question answer. Like
Very
right
much so.
hand and then left hand, and then there's some like those melodies intervals.
I think it's very easy to forget through the centuries. We get stuck in these ideas of Baroque, classical, and early music, whatever else. And we get the idea that that things are in the Baroque thing are sort of formulated. But let me tell you something about Mr. Bach. He was an extremely bad-tempered man. Extremely. People around Leipzig were quite afraid of him. You see pictures of him. He looks like he's got a face a bit like Beethoven. He had real character. Yeah? He had 10 children. So he was quite active, shall we say, with his wife in that department as well. He was a normal person. Yes, he was a great genius, for me, probably the greatest of the lot. But he was also a normal person, and in the end of the day, he wrote music to express his feelings and his emotions above all other things. Yeah? Don't forget that when we're making music, because that's all in the end it's about. We are entertainers. You play the violin to a really high level, and I can't say much about your left hand. Your intonation is great, really good. I think you can use it. I would love, what I've already told you, to send you down and play a double bass for a few hours, because you could make more sound. But above all things, I think we can open this up a little bit. How would you describe the opening? How would you describe that as a piece? As a
It's like majestic-ish.
ish? Sad? It's in a minor key. That's another expertise of art. What you can do with minor keys. Isn't it happy? I think it's extraordinarily happy. It's completely celebratory. Wow! Go on, give us your opening again. Put a dirty great smile on your face. I don't care how. Just really go for it. Make it sound absolutely ecstatic. Okay, good. Do this for me. And you can use a bit more length of that. Better. A bit more wide on your bow. Do it again, even more sound. Then we'll put it back. Good. And where is it going to? What's the most important note of that group? Which one? The C or the A? The C. Go on. More. Yes, okay. Good, now watch me do it. Do you notice that I lean into it and I go, bit of body language please, go on. the opening together. Yum, ba. Put a smile on your face, Thatcher. Big smile. Come on. More. More. Go on. 1 and 2. Very nice indeed. I want to do it again. I want to add one extra thing. One thing, again, I notice as many years teaching this thing now. People don't like to take the bow off the string. And nor do you. Don't be afraid. It's not hard to get. It's not difficult. Do that for me, then we'll have that whole phrase beautiful. Go on. Start right at the tip. There we. I bet you can take it another foot off the string. It's a bit too much, but I want you to do it once. Deep. Deep. Good, you're not smiling. You're doing the whole thing again with Mr. Wick smiling. This jumping thing. Because I think if you get through the bow more, and one of the things again about this Baroque music, it's nearly always based on dance, somewhere. So when we get to this, excuse me for making an idiot of myself, we can use this, we can use dance in our mind, use the bow as a dancer. And it can be much, much more extrovert. Mr. B at this moment is a very happy man. Now I want you, and I don't mind how over the top it is. No, I want it over the top. I want it to create that first half page down to there with as much smile as you can possibly give it. Go on, use tons of bow. Here, you are on your own. How would you describe this? How would you describe that as a contrast at the beginning, if it is a contrast? so. It could almost be like a singer coming out to do their little solo, couldn't it? Just see if you can give us that. All the time remember that it's going, my father used to talk to me a lot about Bach. It's in some ways a very old-fashioned way of looking at it. It's a very good one. Imagine a cathedral, and you've got these arches going up, and another one on top, and another one on top, and these are, it's all architecture. Think of these arches in a big old building, that the music is always going somewhere and building. Yeah? Try as you do that to do the same, but just sing. Just, it's a totally different feel now. Choppy, isn't it? So I want you to go now, going away next lesson or whatever, just think through all those musical things. And also remember what I said to the double bass, Evelina. Point of contact with the bow and the string. And put a smile on your face. Very well done.
Well done. That was great. You make such a lovely sound. A really, really nice sound. But I think, just like we've been talking with all the rest, you can triple it. I think one of what's the way if we're a musician and we're playing, what's the most important thing that we have to be? Are we just us? What else could we be? Do we have to be an actress? We have to. We're a bit like an actress, aren't we? Yeah. I think the way that stage presence is really important. So the way you actually sit and present yourself onto the stage. Do you want to present yourself a little bit far out into the distance, or do you want to? Where do you think that you need to sit to present yourself?
Probably
In the biggest possible situation that you can. Where do you think?
maybe
Over there. Or even how would you tilt? I think that you could even move yourself so you're bam in the centre. You have to take ownership of the stage. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Let's try it. So, we've now got centre stage. That means we've been talking with the rest about sound. I think you can get so much more sound out of that. You have, look at these strings, they're thick, they're not as thick as the bass, but thicker than the violin, so you have to work so hard on every single note to make it sound. So I think, can you give me the first phrase and just see how much bow and how much weight you can put into the string? And what else is going to help with that? You have a really nice vibrato, but I think you can use the vibrato much more all the time. You use it 50% of the time. I think if you used it 100% of the time, you can make it even louder. So can we try the first bit? Weight of it, but where do you think, where in the string do you think it's going to be louder?
like lower to the bridge.
Closer to the bridge. And if you're closer to the bridge, because it can sound so scratchy, as lots of violinists if you don't support it well, how do you support the sound better if you're closer to the bridge? What do you need more of? You've got weight, but also you've got two hands. They have to have the same amount of contact. And so, what do you need more of on the left hand? If you're putting more weight and sound into the right hand, what do you need more of on the left? Starts with a V.
Vibrato.
Yes, even more.
Okay.
We're talking about this eccentric extrovert. I think you've just got to, everything just has to move so much more, and you have to put your absolute heart and soul into everything. It has to be tiring. It is tiring. It's hard work playing. I don't know why sports people are always told that they have to work much harder, because actually, as a musician, we have to work just as hard as a sportsman to use it. Much more vibrato. Wait. That was close to the fingerboard.
Whoops.
Let's try. That was an improvement. How are we going to get it so we get it more clean? How to get it more clean? So usually the start of the note, isn't it? da 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 da. If we were playing the violin, we would use a lot of the first finger. Yeah, it's probably the same. Just make sure that the start has an articulation. So can you give me really slowly da 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 da? Can you make sure that you land on the string, so you start on from the string of each one, so you've got da da. Can you just give me that? So I don't. Yeah, da da. Good. Can you give me more at the beginning of the note? Yeah, much better. Try that again. Good. Now go into da 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 da. So did you notice that time when that first note, if you give more onto that first note, da da, the other one bounces off it. So can you try and link it, so you go da 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 da, so you have a little crescendo into it. Try it again. Much better though, much cleaner. Yes. And then as you go da 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 da, that's where the extrovert comes back out. Da 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 da. Think about the shape. Think about how you're shaping it through crescendos and diminuendos, because it will help you with the articulation of the bowing as well. Much better. Can you try that again? It's hard. Try again. Just keep. The more times we do it, the easier it gets. But really think about the crescendo diminuendo. Make that your striving point rather than all of the fiddly stuff we have to think about on the. It's coming. Can we do it with the piano?
The first one.
Yeah? Well, can we lead into it a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe that. Bar 5? Is that a good place?
Bar 5. Okay.
Bar 5? Well done.
Remember what I said to Thatcher? I don't want to see music stand, I want to see you. Just do it with you, don't worry.
I will be playing Shadas by Victoria Monty.
Well done, Isabella. Good, good. Two things. I'm going to just take up to start with a little bit on Suki as well, between you, to fill in a little bit of that we can before I say anything about beat. What does vibrato do for us? One of you answer. One of you answer me. What scientifically happens when we vibrato? We often forget this. And because it changes the pitch, what does that do to help us? So it's changing the pitch, so we're putting more frequencies through the body of our instrument, aren't we? Right? So as we we're increasing the amount of the number of notes we're playing, essentially, therefore increasing the amount of volume we can make. We easily forget that what it does also, because of that, it increases the resistance of the string. So we can then use a bit more bow pressure to go with it. So if I do this, I'm already going through the sound. But once I do that, I can push as hard as I blooming well like, and it will still sound, it won't choke. So we must not forget that there's a real technical requirement with these nylon strings that are fairly tough, to be able to vibrato, and to be able to vibrato evenly. Because if I do this, suddenly there's a dead note that, if I'm unfortunate enough, it'll do, I'll get a screech. So the more we can learn to generate our vibrato, make the see how I'm using it? I'm using it actually to create, and this is what Vanessa was saying to you, and I'm just honing in on it with you, to create what I call the unit. I often describe to people that to make a sound, we don't do two different things. Absolutely not. We shake our fists. It's that feeling from the back. And the minute we do that, we start to hear that we can actually make this thing generate. I'm sure a pianist will tell you the same thing, how they put a chord down. It's not just wrist out, it's using the weight of the body properly. Yeah? That's the first thing I want to say to you. To think about, discuss it with Miss Norton and me, because sometime I'm sure I'll give you a lesson sometime. But you should discuss it with Mrs. Ackers as well. In the same way, she'll say exactly the same thing, albeit with the cellist's hat on. Tell me about this piece.
It's very fast, energetic.
Is it? The opening isn't. It's energetic, that's for sure.
Towards the end it is.
Where's it from? Just as a ethnic comment, what country would you describe, would you say that this is from, as a piece of music?
I don't know.
I think it's Hungarian, isn't it? I think so. With a little bit of gypsy added to it. I think you've got to think that it has nothing to do with the music, particularly the first section. That you are improvisation. It's an improvisation. Whereas we've heard Bach and Romberg, and it's all written down for us. The history of music has, when we think of jazzers and we think of the Baroque with all our ornamentation and everything, we get stuck thinking that's what's on the page. We have to play what's on the page. In this instance, throw that out. You've learnt your notes, now you can improvise. Imagine, I often say about this, it's like a gypsy in some Hungarian village. They've got a campfire. And suddenly somebody picks up his violin and thinks he'll have a little croon. It's definitely a crooner's paradise. You know what I mean by crooners? A singer who sort of meanders about. As long as it doesn't sound like I just played it, and as long as it doesn't sound like somebody else played it, it's you, it's your chance to be you. You've got a good sound. Go on, start that again and make it you. All it is, personalisation. imagine in vibrato that you just shake your fist, the whole arm. Go on. Fantastic. You're very quick. I come through that last week, didn't I? Go again. Good. Now that's the most important note actually you're wanting to play, the A and the B. So. And you can make that sound you just made and stand it as long as you dare. Doesn't matter, it's got a minute written there. It can be 4 beats, I don't care, 2 hoots. Just enjoy that sound. Go on, you can do it. Go! B flat, same. Note, it was transformed. Yeah. So you can do that for me. B flat, soft and B flat, vibrato, every note. Not, you do, yeah, shake your fist, go on, you use to You can do anything I ask you to do. Well done. Now you've got more time than that. Go on, take your time. Imagination, that's all this is. Go on. Still. Every little mistake you made, you broadcast like a radio show. Go on. Go on, really now. If you vibrato more, like I told you, make it more. From where you started to that in however long we've just played for is amazing. Now I want you to play from the beginning to there with as much imagination as you can. I don't care what goes wrong, I don't care how different it is to me, I don't care what it's like, as long as it's Isabella Kettel. Go on. That's already getting the idea. Your sound will come no time. Well done. Good.
Suki, this piece, this sort of miniature, Kind in Einschlummern, a child falling asleep. What is it about this piece that is actually painting us that picture? What is it for you that you can see in it?
Maybe
The melody line.
yeah.
Okay, where do you think the melody is?
Maybe in the right hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else that you can hear in it? Does this child want to go to sleep? Okay, so you think that they're actually really quite tired and they want to go to sleep. Are there moments when the child is almost asleep and moments when you're sort of on the edge of it? So can you point to a point in the music where you think that might be? There are a couple of places, I think. Yeah, I think it's at the key change moments, isn't it, where the child almost drops off. I'm also hearing in this music a kind of ticking clock. Do you hear that at all when you play it? Can you play me the first section and just think about, number one, think about this melody and the way that you've got these rising phrases. And think about this clock ticking. Is it a clock that's in the room, helping the child to go to sleep, or is it annoying the clock? I don't know yet. The pedal here. I mean, unhelpfully, it just says the word pedal, which means you can use it when you like, really. I think you're chopping this up a little bit too much by lifting your pedal too early, okay? I think we're trying to lift it every half bar, whereas, can you see this? You've actually got a phrase mark that goes through the left hand, and there's that tune. There's various different melodies going on all the way through. And I think the pedal will really help it to have a sense of phrase. So keep your pedal on for longer periods of time and only lift it momentarily if you have to. This moment here, and what tonality are we there? Is that a major or minor chord? No, that one's a minor chord. So we've been in the major here, where maybe it's a lovely remembrance of the day that we've just had. Whereas this is a little bit darker, isn't it? And yet something's building through this phrase. Something's building towards this, and then it's going to go right away here. So just think about that as being a much longer burning phrase. Okay, look at the left hand, look at that phrase mark all the way across there.
hear no sound coming from that chord again, because you're not getting your sound out of the piano at all. You're trying to play so quietly that nothing happens. So try to play it maybe a little bit louder, or at least with more arm weight, so that you do get a sound. This melody here, I think we need to hear that singing out. There's an awful lot of busyness underneath here, isn't there? But it's got to almost transcend that, because we're really heading towards the child just sort of dropping off. Okay? And if there's too much busyness, you're going to wake them up. Yeah? Try to make that a really soothing melody. Okay? Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, ritardando. You did a brilliant slowing down through here, but then you got to here, and you went straight into that last A. But look at this. You've got this pause. This is a million. There's a million here. With a pause on it, that means it could be at least twice as long. And if you're slowing down, that ritardando still continues through that long pause. So that when you get to that last A, that is, if you like, a sigh of contentment. The child is definitely asleep. So let's just go back from there. You did brilliant with ritardando, but don't rush this last 2 bars. Cycle, because it's absolutely wonderful music, so much beautiful poetry to find. Well done, well
done. So that concludes our day of New Music Scholars Masterclasses, and thank you to everybody for coming, for watching at home as well. Just like to thank my colleagues for their fantastic insight. Mr. Jasper, Mr. White, Miss White, and Mr. Wicks, and also thanking Mr. Wicks for his lovely piano playing as well. Let's give all those staff a big round of applause. And also a big thank you to those who've been helping with the live stream and all the other arrangements for the day. Thank you very much. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. And a final thank you to our wonderful new music scholars for everything they've performed today, and for being really brave and responding to the suggestions really quickly and brilliantly. So, thank you this afternoon to performers Walter, Evelina, Thatcher, Suki and Isabella. Let's give them a big final round of applause.